Okay, this is take number 2. Let's see if it works, okay? Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Clark, founder of the Wise Living Institute. And I'm going to just set up my comments here. I hope everybody's having a terrific Thursday. There we go. If you're here live with us, say hello, send hearts. I love those hearts and likes, as well as if you are here on the replay, hit pound replay for me so that I can send you a little love later on. We have had some really great 3 days, the beginning of the 3rd day here. We are in the middle of the How to Ask, Receive, and Understand Signs from the Universe series. And we've done some asking, we've done some receiving, and now it's time to get into understanding those signs that are gifted to us all of the time, every single place. So let's start with a little recap. The first day was all about asking, and I shared my favorite acronym for ask, which is always seek knowledge. For somebody who is self-sufficient and it's hard to ask for support. Once I created that acronym for myself, it became so much easier. The second thing about asking is just creating discerning questions. And if you go into the Living Your Truth community group, you can catch that replay about asking. Day 2 was all about receiving. And I spoke about 2 things when we talked about receiving. And the first one was being worthy of it and feeling that you are worthy of receiving these beautiful gifts from the divine, from the universe that are being put in front of you each and every day. And I'm checking in on that. And the second part of that was just being creative and curious about receiving those signs and going out and asking, keeping that discerning question in the forefront of your mind with the intention that you are going to receive those messages. So you can catch that replay too in the group. The 3rd day, which is today, we are talking about understanding those signs for ourselves, understanding what those signs from the universe truly mean for you with confidence and faith and trust so that you can step forward with that message in your heart and in your actions. Understanding there are 2 pieces of that I wanted to cover today. And the first one was I believe that we are given signs from the universe in the form of possibilities, not in the form of negativity, not in the form of creating more fear for ourselves, and not in the form of you're just all wrong, right? I believe that these signs are given to us in the form of possibilities, even those signs that say, stop and think. Are you on the right path? They are there to open up the possibilities of something else. The old adage, when one door closes, another one opens. And that's how we have to embrace these signs, because otherwise, when we receive the ones that seemingly are negative for us, we will seemingly stop ourselves in our track and go into our ego, into the no one likes me, everybody hates me, this isn't possible, I can never win. And yes, those are all things that I've said to myself over and over in the years gone by, the bygone years, right? That I have shed those responses most of the time. At least I know when they've come up and I can glum them off really fast. So these signs come to us in the form of possibilities. That's the first thing that we need to know. And the second thing that we need to know is, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, is that these signs mean something specific to you and are unto you and your own interpretation of them. So I use the example of Pepe Le Pew, the skunk. For me, when I see a skunk, I think of Pepe. I think of, his stuff doesn't stink, right? And he just goes around the world strutting his stuff, and doesn't really care what other people think. And when I see a skunk, I'm reminded of that in my own life. Other people see a skunk and they're reminded of something completely else. Right? Maybe you'll shift that sign. Signs can shift too. You know what a sign means to you when you're in your 20s means something completely different when you're in your 40s or 50s or any other time. So we have to make sure that when we see these signs, we put them through our own internal GPS. So I'm going to share with you two stories today that just happened. One was I'm having these conversations with, I'm having soul-to-soul chats with people who are embracing the possibility of doing the Live Your Truth private coaching with me. And she gets on the phone and she, we talk about her challenges and what she wants to do in the next bit of time in her life. And she says, I just don't know if this is the right thing. And I said, I get that because it's a big commitment. Where are you blocking commitments in your life and where are you open to them? And I want you to ask yourself that and go out and look for signs because this is the week that we're doing that. And she texted me back and she said, I was going down the road and I saw not one, not two, not three doors open. There were like 4 or 5. It was a beautiful Indian summer day here in New England, and a lot of people were airing their homes out. And she's like, I'm just not knocking on those doors and allowing myself to step through them. And I said, that's really great. We're going to have a soul-to-soul chat about that. Other people would say, when they see those doors open, let me go out into the world, right? She saw it as, let me go in through these doors, that these doors are open and I need to step through them. Other people would see them as openings and to go out into the world. So she's taking that message and she's putting it through her inner GPS to come out with an understanding. So that's one example. Another example is from my own life because, I practice what I preach. And here's what was happening was I've opened up the Wise Living Institute. I've shifted platforms for how I want to help support people accessing their own wisdom and aligning with their purpose. And I've shifted platforms, and that was great last week. And I'm doing this wonderful how-to series this week. And I'm like, but what now? But what now? But what now? I was in that what now phase. And I said to myself, let me go out and find out what now. What's the next best thing? I have some things in the till, if you will. What now? What big thing do I have to do? Right? And we live on a rural road, and you have to go out and about 300 yards away from our driveway. You go under an underpass for I-95, and they're fixing that bridge. They're actually reconstructing the bridge. It's a 2-year process. And lots of work been around that all the time, but there has never, ever, ever been somebody standing there with that sign that says slow and stop. There's actually a light above. It's a stoplight that they disconnected today, and they have somebody standing there with slow and stop. And it was slow. It just said slow. And I'm like, oh, slow. Maybe I just need to pace myself. Maybe this is the right thing. Maybe I need to slow down. Let me think about that a little bit more. So the next question I asked myself is, what does the sign slow mean for myself? Can you help support that universe? And I came back to the house, and a friend had sent me a Simon Sinek video. And it's all about leadership, and it's about, showing up and doing something big. Yes, and that's a great thing to do, to support your peeps, right? Do something big. But it's the day-to-day consistent things that you do in your life that is the foundation with which you are a leader. He uses the example, you don't just go to the dentist twice a year and think that your teeth are all fine. You have to actually brush your teeth in the morning and the afternoon to make sure that the foundation stays strong. And I'm like, slow, foundational stuff. Okay. Do I need to, okay, let me keep going. The third thing that came to me was an email from my business coach And I was asking her about the same question yesterday. And she said, honestly, Laura, you are doing the right things. It's just making sure that we're creating that foundation again and having the patience and the persistence, which you have always had, to continue forward. Right? So I'm like, slow, the Simon Sinek video, and the email from my coach. Those are three things that I've put through my inner GPS, and I'm like, okay, just continue forth, just continue, do what you're doing, and that way you are going to be supporting those people who you are meant to support, and continue forth. So when we start understanding these signs from the universe, we are talking about looking at them through the glass of possibility. We are looking at them so that they're not limiting, but opening things up for us. We're putting them through our inner GPS. And the third thing, which is kind of a bonus thing I don't have written down on my handy dandy little notes here. The third thing is if you see signs in threes, you better darn well follow them, because otherwise you're going to get hit with a cosmic 2x4. You know, that's one of those things where I should have had a B8. I knew in my heart and my soul that that's what you're doing. When you see signs in 3, you must follow them. You must continue onward, understanding that, taking those courageous steps to live your truth. Because otherwise, you will start getting that vibrational energy lowered. The cosmic 2x4 will hit you, and you'll be out for the count for a little bit, and you'll need more support to pick you up. So these are things that are simple tools that we can use each and every day to follow our truth courageously so that we live in greater joy and abundance, whatever that means to you. Okay? So if you're here live, just throw some questions in, and you might be doing this because I didn't check the way Facebook runs. I have to have it over here, right? There's Robin. Hi, Robin. How are you? Hi, Donna. Welcome back. Have you guys been doing any asking, receiving, and understanding for yourselves? I would love to hear about that. I think that when we are trying to find more faith in ourselves and trying to find more trust in the universe, it's important to take out all of the tools that we know to use and buff them up, and then start learning new ones. Because when we do that, we are capable of anything. We're capable of anything. We're capable of following our purpose fully, passionately, even when life interrupts you, even when the challenges feel like they're too much to take, and we can continue forward. So Robin's saying she's asking but not hearing this. Are you not here? You're saying asking but not hearing yet, Robin. Does that mean that you're not receiving or not understanding? Right? Let me know, and we'll see if we can support you a little bit here. So one of the things that I am doing right now is I am having those soul-to-soul conversations with people who are ready to step into fully, passionately stepping forward, and having the opportunity to work with them in the Live Your Truth private coaching 6-month offer that I have with people. This is a deep dive and a commitment to yourself into living your truth. It's for those people who are really ready to access their inner wisdom more consistently, begin to access it, or do it more consistently, to align with their purpose, either to find their purpose, or if they know their purpose, fully spark it up to a new level so that you can feel like it's not what I was going through yesterday of the what now. We all have those times, right? We all have those what now times. But being able to really be able to allow ourselves the privilege of aligning ourselves with our truth. Because when we do, we step out more vibrantly. And when you step out more vibrantly, you are sending signals of love and light to everyone. And you are making this world a more powerful place of good. And we need that more than ever now. And people used to say that about 4 years ago, right? We need it more than ever. But I truly believe that, and as we head into 2020, I think that we are looking at the need for more patience, for more understanding, for more gratitude, for having our ability to affect others in a way that we will never know, just because we are ourselves, just because we are living our truth, just because of who we are. And that's powerful. And it's powerful for a number of things. You know, this work that I do with people does not necessarily allow them to have those objective results. All right, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to drop 3 dress sizes. I'm going to have X more money in the bank. I am going to have that full relation. Mr. Right is going to drop into my lap. Right? The work that I do does not have objective results. And so it's really hard for people to find the justification to invest in themselves. But what I know deeply is that when you do this work, when you fully commit to living your truth, those things happen by osmosis. Your business, if you're an entrepreneur, grows. If you're in sales, you get more sales. If you are a mother, your children are happier and healthier because you've done the work. What I know is that you get subjective results of feeling better about yourself, of having more vibrant relationships, of having more, and the word is a little overused right now, but authentic relationships. That's because you are committing to understanding who you are on both a soul level and a cellular level. And when you do that, you shine. So if you want to have a soul-to-soul conversation with me, please do so. I am doing them this week. I am taking applications through Monday. I have 6 spots because I give my all, and I'll pop in and show you a little bit more about that. Robin's saying, seeing, she doesn't know. She doesn't think she's receiving. All right. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Mary Beth. So you are receiving, Robin. Okay. I want you to sit down with that. I want you to open your heart. And I want you to know that you are receiving. Everyone receives signs, right? We just need to tune you into what those signs are. So I asked on yesterday, we were in the process of looking at one, do you really feel like you're worthy of receiving signs? Right? Are you open enough to receiving them? Do you believe that you have the right to receive them? And those are internal questions. You don't have to pop that answer into the chat unless you'd like to. But I want you to sit somewhere quietly today and just open your heart, right, to the universe's light. Not for a sign, but just for its light to come into your heart so that you can feel that you're worthy. And I want you to kind of just shake off any thoughts where you might not feel worthy. I want you to actually physically wipe off anything that feels like it doesn't belong there, that is stopping you from your perception of receiving these signs. And then I want you to just go out and say, be curious, right? Like the hatchling that fell out of the tree with Are You My Mother? I just want you to go out and look at something. If you have a crystal ball, are you my mother? Are you my sign today? And feel that. Go look at a tree and say, "Are you my sign?" And just feel the energy. Right? Put your feet on the ground and say, "Boy, are you my sign at the ground? Are you my sign?" Look at the road and see a car come by that's like bright yellow. Are you my sign? And just ask, "Are you my sign?" And you will feel yourself lighten up, like get a little stronger, a little happier if it is your sign. And you will like just kind of feel dull if it's not, and that's okay. And that's a way of being inquisitive about your signs. So try all of that. Um, and let me know how that plays out today. All right, you can pop that into uh, um, the image that goes up at the end of the day or yesterday's image and let us know. Let's see. It makes me cry, especially at this time of the year. The new year is hard for me. Are you, Robin, is the new year the school year or the actual calendar year that's coming up? Um, because that would be important too. And tears are good. They don't feel good sometimes, um, but they can really be cathartic because when you let them out, you are opening up space for more truth to be revealed to you. All right. So if you feel like you need to cry, go cry, and that's okay. And know it's okay. Right? Sometimes I just sit there and I say I just want to cry. And I can't because I'm typically a very positive person, and I typically can find those solutions for myself. So I don't cry that often. Um, but sometimes I feel like I really need a good cry, and so I try to go cry, and then I get the sappiest video that I can find on Facebook or on YouTube, and I just allow myself to get into it to weep, not because of what I want to cry for, right? But because of that sappy thing. And then I cry, and then following that cry, the cathartic cry comes, right? So allow that to come for yourself, um, because you will find more space to hear the truth revealed. I tell the story about um, when I was going through some really deep, deep um, depression. And I cried myself to sleep. And I got the biggest soul message of my entire life when my grandmother came through to me in one of my dreams that night. Um, it was the biggest soul message. I didn't want to continue. It was the dark night of the soul when it would have been easy to exit from this physical world stage left. And fortunately, I had cried myself to sleep hard. And my grandmother came to me and she kind of wagged her finger at me and she said, "You're not a quitter. You're just not a quitter, Laura. Just keep following your path. You'll find the answers. You are not a quitter." She didn't say don't quit. She said you are not a quitter, right? And that message saved my life. So um, when we cry, we find answers and we find messages for ourselves. The Jewish New Year, yeah. Memories of the past with family and friends who are no longer here, yeah. And celebrations that are not happening because they are no longer here. I hear you. I'm with you. Oftentimes I create I'm going long, so I'm just going to keep talking because I think this is really important. Um, Robin, what I do with my mom at Christmas, because she's been gone for 15 years, and I miss her at Christmas most of the time, most especially at Christmas, because she just made it Christmas such a big deal for the entire family. And we don't have that. But what was the biggest deal for my mom was having high tea. She loved having high tea. And we went on a trip to a tea house together, and I was in my 20s, and I didn't want to be there. She kind of dragged me, and I was kind of really a 20-year-old that just was like, okay, I'm here. And we had a lousy conversation, but she still had an okay time. And I kind of regret that. And I've made up for that because since she's been gone, I have high tea with her every Christmas. I look at the calendar. It's already on my calendar. for 2 hours of time when I have high tea for my mom. And I pull out her tea set and I set it all up and I get some nice cookies, which is cool, right? And I set up tea for myself and her, and I invite her to come, and we sit at the dining room table, and we have high tea together. And I just sit quietly with her while she's here. Sometimes I get great messages, but other times I just get a lot of solace of just continuing that connection to her with her in the next realm. So perhaps maybe you could create some celebrations that remind you and reconnect you to the good things that you had with them that will support you in the here and now, right? Because once you take those good things and you step out into the world, you will be brighter and share that with others who are probably feeling the same thing at this time of year for you. Okay, so I hope that that helps a little bit. And maybe look at some signs, look at some signs. So those are some things about this process of how to receive, how to ask, receive, and understand the signs from the universe. It is a skill. It's like riding your bike. And remember, when you learned to ride your bike, it took a little time. And then you got steady. And I actually got on a bike this summer for the first time in, oh my gosh, way too many years. And I was unsteady for a while, but I had to learn how to re-steady myself, right? And it came back with greater ease because I had done that so long ago, so much of the time, right? That's what we do with these skills, right? We learn them, we put them in place, and then sometimes they go off to the side, and then we have to re-welcome them in and recreate that relationship with them, whether that is using oracle cards, whether that is using your nighttime dreams for messages, whether that is using this simple process of asking, receiving, and understanding the signs of the universe, whether that's using runes, whether that's using the I Ching. I can go on forever about all of the different tools that we can cultivate to support ourselves living our truth. Right? So you do have a traditional dinner at home, thinking of her. Yay, good, good. You're very welcome, Robin. Hi, Jennifer. I hope that you're having a... So those are the things I do need to pop off now, but certainly answer the questions that are posted in a cute little image at the end of the day for greater support. Will be back again between now and next week to support you in this process, and I will tell you a little bit of what's coming so that you can continue to thrive. All right. Have a wonderful Thursday, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. And much love to you. Take care. Bye.